it's good, really good to have you join me, really.
Yeah, thank you.
Great.
Good afternoon.
All right, now, but before we proceed on our discussion, let's bring you update about the reactions trailing the planned increase in value-added tax. Now, the APC national leader has asked the Nigerian government not to go ahead with the planned increase in VAT because he warned that such decision was capable of worsening the nation's economy. Let's listen to what he said yesterday at the colloquium.
Consumer spending is slipping. And this is where I will stop and appeal to Professor Yemi Osibajo, the Vice President, and his team. Put a huge question mark on any increase on VAT. Please. If we reduce the purchasing power of the people, we can further slow down the economy. Let's widen the tax net. Consumers.
All right, you heard the voices there. Now, Ahmed, let's come back to this issue. How important or how central is this call for government not to consider the issue of increment in value-added tax?
Sincerely, value-added tax, which is the VAT, is a consumer's tax. And the truth of the matter is that it's not a tax that is borne by the seller or the provider of service. It is borne by the consumers. So that makes it, very important to the marginal propensity to consume, very important to the purchasing power of the consumers. And when you look at it, the factor of demand and supply has to do with the performance of the economy at the end of the day, because everything has to do with, someone saying, I needed a service, or I needed money, I needed a product, or I want to buy a product. So when you are reducing the power or the volume of demand, automatically you are weakening the businesses.
All right, now, but there were arguments on the other hand that government needs to raise funds to be able to meet social needs and social obligations and infrastructure.
It is when businesses survive that you can say that. Do you know, even in taxation, if a business is making loss, you can't expect him to pay tax on what he's not making. So government policies and taxation policies should be tailored towards making businesses progress and taking part of that profit, as income or as taxes for government to deliver infrastructure. Okay. So as it is, what we need to do is that the implication is enormous on businesses, some of which are, if there is overtaxation or the VAT is increased from what it is at 5% to whatever percent increment
to 7.5
to 7.5 or what have you, it will, number one, bring in low business turnover, low sales to businesses. That would amount to growth, that the number of businesses that are small or micro businesses, they will not progress to medium scale, not to talk of large scale. Let me explain. That people would choose to do their businesses in the informal way that they are used to. Because the moment you begin to expand from maybe a one-man business to employing 3, 4, 5 people, to computerizing your system, that's when tax authority will come and say, let's see your system and want to tax you and want to check your VAT. But people would rather remain in their informal box and not want to grow their own business deliberately, because they understand that the government will come on them. So government should not even, let's strike that right now.
But at what time would it be convenient for government to say, okay, it is good for us to raise taxes now, or if we do that, it won't hurt anyone?
No, what the government needs to do is to increase the tax net. The informal sector, if you are aware that it's only about 17% of taxable adults that are paying taxes. Now, what the government needs to do is to take the informal sector, or there is a system that we that were in the private sector can explain to the government or the tax authorities on how to include the fencing system. The fencing system is a theory that is very simple. It is very tropical to Nigeria because of the structure of the informal sector that we have. So what we should do is to increase the tax net. We should bring the informal sector more into this and use the fencing system. The money will come, not to overburden the people that are already paying. So, and I think that's the advocacy. I think that's what people are saying to the government, that these people that are paying either personal income tax or company tax or value-added tax that are remitting to the government, don't put more burden on them. So expand to some other areas, people that are not yet paying, make them pay. And when they pay, the expected revenue you are expecting from tax will still come. Okay. But the moment you burden the, the people that are already in the tax net, you are killing the existing businesses. Okay. And it will affect the GDP, all right. Definitely. That was why we saw the tax amnesty at the time and all of that. Ahmed Ojikudu, thank you so much for coming on the program. Thank you very much.